I visited so many primary health care where there's no toilet, where there's no nothing. All we are doing is to raise resources to build, renovate house, renovate building, build mansion, do this and everything. That's all we are doing. At the expense of other people. It's to go and build conference center in a place where women are dying. And so you saw the reports by the latest reports that the worst place to give birth is in Nigeria. I would have removed the fuel subsidy. If you go to my manifesto, it's there. Steps I would have taken to do it in an organized manner. There was nothing wrong in removal of subsidy. What is wrong is the haphazard way in which it was announced and implemented. There's nothing wrong with floating your currency. There's nothing wrong in even devaluing your currency. But you do this when you have productivity. Rufai, are you saying that coastal road is more important than securing Nigeria?
But they say it will open up to the country.
No, don't. Rufai, let's not go there. The roads we have all over the country are no motorable. You fix those ones first and use your resources to secure your country.
In a country struggling with record inflation, falling currency, and a presidency under pressure, one voice has refused to go silent. The voice of Peter Obi, the former Anambra State governor and Labour Party presidential candidate, has become a thorn in the side of President Bola Tinubu's administration. From the removal of fuel subsidies to the handling of foreign exchange and even the appointment of economic advisors, infrastructural projects constructed under this administration, Obi has taken aim again and again at every foundation of Tinubu's policy agenda. But the question is why? Is Peter Obi merely trying to stay in the headlines, or is he exposing the cracks of a government losing touch with the people? This is the story of Peter Obi's relentless opposition to Tinubu's government and why it might shape the battle for Nigerians' future. To understand Obi's current posture, we must begin with a basic principle of politics, the role of the opposition. Peter Obi came third in the 2023 presidential election following Bola Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar. But unlike Atiku, Obi took a fast turn. After the Lego battles ended, Obi remained vocal. Every policy move by Tinubu, especially the economically controversial ones, have been met with criticism. But this isn't mere noise. In some functional democracies, the opposition leader acts as a counterweight to power. They highlight the errors of the ruling party and present alternative policies. For Peter Obi, this has become a core strategy. He speaks not just as a politician, but also as a man trying to shape the nation's narrative. You don't remove subsidy without putting cushioning measures in place.
I would have removed the fuel subsidy. If you go to my manifesto, it's there. Steps I would have taken to do it in an organized manner. There was nothing wrong in removal of subsidy. What is wrong is the haphazard way in which it was announced and implemented. Everybody knows that the subsidy regime was a solution of criminality, that there was a lot of corruption around everybody, which you needed to bundle that aspect out of it, do it in an organized manner. And since you're doing it for savings, we're told we're doing it because we don't want to continue to borrow to continue the subsidy. And the removal of it will be able to have available funds to be invested in critical area of development. With honest things, billions saved. Where is it? Where is he invested in those critical areas of development?
They said they've given the money to the governors. That's what.
No.
They said they've increased their FAC allocation.
Fine.
They said most of the states have been able to pay them.
Everybody knows what critical areas of development is. And I say it morning, afternoon, night. It is education, health, and pulling people out of poverty. Rufai, is any of these three, has it improved? No.
You don't flat the Naira without a plan, he said during one of the post-election interviews.
There's nothing wrong with floating your currency. There's nothing wrong in even devaluing your currency. But Rufai, you do this when you have productivity. What devaluation or floating does is that your currency becomes, in terms of value, low. You attract investment. Your products becomes more marketable. But where we are unproductive, you have nothing to sell. So it's a double whammy. So in all this, I would have done the same thing in an organized manner. And when people say alternative economic policies, they're there.
So what is this organized manner?
That's what I was saying to you.
So can you give us precept by precept of this organized manner in which we have pulled out subsidy?
Subsidy removes the criminality that's associated with it, which is over 50% of it. Be able to sit down with the operators there and come up with a pricing that will not be agreed. And then, whatever we're able to save from it, have a specific place where invest in it. So we say, whatever is saved from here, whatever we are giving it to the states, anything, it is specific for this. We have to have a national planning where all the resources will be put in. It is not just something you say, oh, we are sharing it the way we used to share every other morning.
In a time when millions are falling into poverty, Obi has positioned himself as the voice of economic caution, a man who warned the nation before the storm. Critics say he is just trying to stay relevant, but even they admit his criticism are often grounded in real data, real hardship, and real policy flaws. At the heart of Obi's criticisms lies an ideological divide, a fundamental difference in how Nigerians' economy should run. Peter Obi champions what he calls a productive-based economy. In his words, we must move from consumption to production. We must cut waste and invest in people. For Obi, governance is about lean spending, reducing debts, and investing in healthcare, education, and manufacturing.
I'm not fighting anybody. Yes. My fight is against bad governance, against hunger, against poverty, against out-of-school children, against people not having health services. This country have less than 10% insurance care, health insurance, should be 100%. These teachers teaching here should be paid by government because it's universal basic education. The law says here that our children should go to school free. So what my Lord is doing is helping government. Government should help him. That's what I did in Anambra State.
Contrasts this with Tinubu's policy, high-risk reforms, from the sudden removal of petrol subsidies to the floating of the Naira and aggressive tax reforms. Tinubu's government has leaned on stock therapy economies, but for many Nigerians, the results have been painful. Petrol prices tripled overnight, the Naira collapsed in value, inflation soared to 33% in early 2025, food prices doubled across markets.
I know at this stage the expectation is still very high, and our Nigerian people are still going through difficult times. I take this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians that the hope is here and is realizable. that the benefit will be you'll be part of the benefit. The economy is recovering. There's light at the end of the tunnel now. Inflation is stepping down. The exchange rate is stabilized. The corruption in the exchange rate is eliminated. The corruption in fuel subsidy is limited to BRS minimum. It is your money. It is your opportunity. It is your children that must go to school, must go through the higher education. We are paying for all of that. Look at renewable infrastructure going on in various teaching hospitals and several thousands of health centers. It's all about you. It's all for you, the people. We are reducing the cost of manufactured drugs. We are encouraging manufacturing locally. We give all incentives for everyone to abide by the principle of Nigerian first.
To Obi, these are not just numbers. They are symptoms of reckless economic gamble. Time and again, he has warned. You don't experiment with people's lives. If you must take tough decisions, you must first build trust, credibility, and safety nets. His alternative: vision slow, discipline reforms, focused on local production, SMEs growth, and cutting the cost of governance, stands in stark contrast to Tinubu's big bang approach. In this war of ideas, Peter Obi is not just opposing Tinubu, he is offering himself an intellectual counterpoint. But Peter Obi's criticisms are not just about the economy, they are also about ethics, accountability, and governance style. Obi has built a reputation, rightly or wrongly, as a frugal, non-nonsense leader who does not tolerate waste. During his time as governor of Anambra State, he was known to fly economy, reject convoy, and save billions for the state, even if it cost him politically. The frugal image has become his political brand. Now, when Tinubu's government is seen as spending on luxury cars for lawmakers, appointing over 40 ministers, or expanding government expenses, Obi pounds. To him, it is a betrayal of the suffering Nigerian people. You can't tell people to tighten their belts while you're losing yours, he often says. This message resonates deeply, especially with Nigerians' growing young population, many of whom are jobless and disillusioned. To them, Obi is not just an opposition leader, he is a symbol of what governance could be. And the more Tinubu stumbles, the more Obi brand shines in contrast. Let's not be naive. Politics is also war. Every move has an endgame, and Peter Obi's constant attack on Tinubu's policies serves another purpose: setting the stage for 2027. There is no doubt that Peter Obi will likely run for president again. His political base, the Obidients, are passionate, loud, and mobilized. But he must remain in the national spotlight for the next 4 years if he hopes to stand a chance in 2027. Every speech, every tweet, every media appearance serves as a strategic purpose: to remind Nigerians of his alternative ideas, to paint the ruling party as incompetent, and to frame the 2027 election as a second chance to course correction. His attacks are part of a long-term narrative. You had a chance to elect a frugal, prepared, and compassionate leader. You chose hardship. Don't make the same mistake again in 2027. Somehow that's the message of Peter Obi. It is clear, it is calculated, and he might just walk if Tinubu fails. There is another layer to Obi's criticism that must not be ignored: the question of legitimacy. Many of Obi's supporters still believe the 2023 election was manipulated, though the Supreme Court upheld Tinubu's victory. the sentiment of betrayal remains strong among a section of the electorate. For them, Obi didn't just lose, he was robbed, and every failure of Tinubu's administration becomes evidence of that robbery. This belief gives Peter Obi a kind of moral leverage. He is not just an opposition politician. To millions, he is the rightful leader they never had. By attacking Tinubu's policies, he indirectly reinforces that perception. He doesn't need to say, "I told you so." The economic hardship does it for him. It is a long game of political psychology, turning public suffering into a rallying cry for future redemption. Now, let's be fair. Is Peter Obi just playing politics? Of course he is. Every politician does. But unlike many critics, Obi is anchoring his politics on real issues. And that's what makes his opposition powerful. He is not just saying Tinubu is bad. He is saying why the policies are failing, how they hurt the people, and what the alternatives are. From his detailed breakdown of the budget to his suggestion on improving FX policies and food production, Obi is doing more than attacking. He is educating. This separates him from opposition politicians who merely shout. And in a country where many are hungry for credible leadership, that level of issue-based opposition is rare and powerful as well.
I visited so many primary health care where there's no toilet, where there's no nothing. All we are doing is to raise resources to build, renovate house, renovate the building, build the mansion, do this and everything. That's all we are doing. They make you local government chairman. They make you governor. They make you president. Vice, all you want to do is to renovate a house that doesn't need renovation. So you'll be more comfortable at the expense of other people. It's to go and build conference center in a place where women are dying. And so you saw the reports by the latest reports that the worst place to give birth is in Nigeria. People are dying every 7 minutes. Yet, we have all sophisticated buildings, all mansions. And that is what we want to dismantle, so that it will be good for everybody. I'm only thanking you people for your commitment, staying on, and assuring you people that if we work together, we will dismantle them.
The next 2 years will test both Peter Obi and Atiku if Tinubu's reform begins to bear fruit and the economy recovers. His critics may fall silent and Obi could lose steam. But if hardship persists, if corruption continues, and if the promises of a renewed hope agenda fade, Peter Obi's voice will only grow louder. He will say, "I warned you, I gave you options, now it is time to choose wisely again." That message, if backed by strong campaign, could redefine Nigerians' future. So is Peter Obi attacking Tinubu just to stay relevant? Partly, but more than that, he is staking his claim on the future. Because in Nigeria, because in the end, politics is not just about elections, it is about narratives. And right now, Peter Obi is writing his, one criticism at a time. What do you think? Is Peter Obi truly offering a better solutions, or just riding the waves of public anger? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, in politics, silence is never neutral. If you found this documentary insightful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.